your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Monday and welcome to the first day of July. It is the Morning Drive here on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 and Double T 97.3.com. Blink, just like that. It's July with Jamie Lent and Clint Scott, who's in for Jeff McGuire today. I'm Chuck Hines. We come to you from our humble studios here in downtown Lubbock, the First United Bank studio, and we look forward to hearing from you today on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. If you had anything extraordinary happen over the weekend, or maybe you're getting ready for the big family vacay and getting in the roadster and heading out to parts unknown, well, fill us in on that. You can. And also, the Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. You let him in the door this morning, Clint Scott.
He actually beat me here.
Okay. So he was, I guess if you'd have beat him, you might have kept him at bay.
Probably not. I'm happy to have him here.
Okay, well. Yeah.
Well, actually, I just never left on Friday.
Okay.
I've been sleeping here all weekend. I was worried about that Jamie wouldn't let me in. So my sleeping bag back there in the back offices.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. The Rangers get a win yesterday. They put it all together, Jamie. They got a bunch of hits, and they got great pitching.
Okay,
now, see if you can
plan.
do it again.
Yeah, that's good.
And so they have this great outing after losing 6 straight, and today they're off because they've been on the road, Milwaukee and Baltimore. And they'll host the Fathers starting tomorrow, the San Diego Padres tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and Thursday afternoon. Both teams, the Astros and the Rangers, playing day games on the 4th of July. That seems somewhat criminal to me, just when you think about it out loud, going. You know, all these teams that have, hey, come watch the fireworks. It's Fireworks Friday. It's Tuesday Blast Off, or it's whatever, you know, and they're playing day games on the 4th of July.
So it allows you to go to the game and then get to the fireworks afterwards.
Yeah, I guess. Or they could have had a great fireworks display at the old ballpark, you know, but maybe they felt like people would want to get to their own celebrations, things along those lines. Maybe they felt like that would be better for both. The Astros are playing out of the country, so there probably won't be any fireworks there in Blue Jay land. They're playing in Toronto. That's Canada. They don't necessarily celebrate the 4th of July. I think today is Canada Day, July 1st. I think today is Canada's Day. I'll have to check that.
You're looking at me for confirmation. I'll have to go to the old Google machine.
I was just looking at you to see if I could pick anything from your brain. No, it was just that just came to me. I think today, July the 1st, is Canada Day. So anyway, that's the way it works. The Astros will be in Toronto today. It's an afternoon affair. Really weird for a Monday to have an afternoon game, but maybe because it's Canada Day, that they're doing that on, a day game there. Have some, celebrations there in Toronto.
Quick Google search says you're correct, Chuck.
How about that? Ding, ding, Jamie. It's going to be a good week. I'm correct on first thing out of the chute.
Exciting.
Lucky guess.
Interesting.
Lucky guess. The Rangers got a player to hit for the cycle yesterday, as Clint said in the Sports Center, Wyatt Langford. He's the first one to do it in baseball this season. Here's what he said, Jamie, about his 3-run home run in the 8th to make it 11-2. I was trying to hit a home run. It kind of speaks for itself. I mean, okay, you're up 8-2. I mean, kind of given how the Rangers have been this year, it's not an insurmountable lead, for Baltimore. I don't know. I mean, maybe he should have kept that to himself, but I don't know. Maybe he was in the moment. He's a rookie. I don't know that anybody goes up trying to hit a home run, but maybe that's the case. Seems like just trying to get the ball in play.
It was 8-2.
It was 8-2. Okay. So anyway, he did that. It was his first 4-hit game of his career. Obviously, he's a rookie.
Picked the right way to do it.
Yeah, he sure did. I mean, you get to go hit for the cycle. So good for him. And he is he's just 22 years old. The Rangers now are 38-46 on the season. The Astros, that's a strange score when you think about, extra innings, winning 10-5.
Yeah, it's not something that's normal, but it's more normal. We see a lot more of that in this era of playing with the zombie runner out there at second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Astros were on the road. They played the Mets. They won in New York in 11, 10-5, and then they made the trip a little bit further north to Toronto to take on the Blue Jays today. We'll have that game for you on 100.7 The Score, 1:35 the broadcast time. First pitch will be just after 2 o'clock. Here's my other keen observance this morning, Jamie, on my way to work. It's really dark out there today, especially at Quaker in the Loop. There's no lights on the loop, Quaker in the Loop. It was just like, I said to myself out loud, I went, man, it's dark. And then I'm like, well, no, it's 5:40 in the morning. But, man, it's just dark. Just really, really.
No moon, no stars.
Yeah, nothing. It's just dark. It was just like, wow, it's really, really, really dark. But at any rate, that's the way that goes. 6:08 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. I think I ask you this question every year, and I'm not sure if you give me the same answer every year, but I think you do. When it comes to the standings on July the 4th, do you buy into the whoever's in first on the 4th is usually the team that makes the playoffs or wins the division?
It's probably accurate. If they have a lead now, you would think they have a better than positive odds that they're gonna win the whole thing. But I don't think it's any kind of guarantee or anything like that.
No, it's no.
Just all depends on how close it is or whatever.
Baltimore and New York are now virtually tied in the East. Baltimore has a 3 percentage point lead over the Yankees. Yankees have one more win and one more loss than the Orioles. And we're starting to see a little bit of a race in the West. The Astros are a game over 500. They're just 3.5 back of Seattle. They're knocking on the door of the Mariners. So may have a little bit of a lead there. And then as far as the division races in the National League, not that it's over, but man, there's big leads in each division, at least as far as the division leads are concerned.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
We get this. Morning, guys. Just joined. Is Jamie being punished for something this morning?
No, I enjoy my time with my 2 Jayhawk friends.
So, yeah, I mean, I saw that and went, oh, I don't think so. And then I thought, oh, it's because both Clint and I are here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Got it. Clint responded with, he just wanted extra anguish on Adidas Day. Dan in Dallas asks, have y'all heard how the grand reveal will happen with the new Texas Tech Adidas gear today? Is it a big deal?
No, I think it's a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, do you think there's a grand reveal, or is it just kind of subtle today? I mean, it's not like they're going to parade everybody over to the stadium and throw it up on, all the video boards they've got now and hang a big, Adidas.
I'm sure there'll be lots
end.
of videos and social media. They already have banners.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at across campus, there's already
stuff up. Yeah.
There's already stuff up. So, I mean, the part about the grand reveal, I mean, I'm sure they're talking about like football uniforms, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that.
And I'm sure you'll see videos of that today if they're not already out there.
Yeah.
And maybe they change it up. Like one day it'll be football, one day it'll be soccer, one day it'll be basketball, whatever. I don't know exactly what the plan is, but I imagine they'll kind of spread it out throughout the course of the week.
There's also, a lot of Adidas gear that you can purchase that's starting to pour out through Twitter already, like waking up this morning and shirts and hoodies, backpacks, and I think the excitement is definitely there from the fan base to get their new gear that they're going to maybe replace or add to. We'll start rolling through this week.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what it all looks like. With the various uniforms. Of course, football is going to have Patrick Mahomes' logo on it as well, and I think people are real excited about that. Obviously, I think he was a big, help in making this happen. It's interesting. Last night on the History Channel, they had the mega brands and how they got built and all that. So they do a fantastic job with that stuff. If you're interested in history and kind of the backstory. Anyway, it was on Nike and it was on Phil Knight. But then part of that story is Adidas, and Adidas was founded by a guy by the name of Adolf Adi Dassler. Adi Dassler that's where they got Adidas from. Adi Dassler. His brother Rudolph founded Puma. Remember the Puma shoe back in the day?
Still have them.
Yeah, that was his brother that founded that, and then his son was always looking for his dad's approval, and behind his dad's back, he helped develop a shoe for the NBA and got a big NBA contract, and then presented his dad with a pair of those Adidas shoes, and basically the dad said, "You disobeyed me." That's really tough. That was a tough moment for him, I'm sure. And then when he died, he left the company to his mother and his sister, and basically, put him out of the loop. And then when the mom died, he took over the company, and it flourished. But the Phil Knight story is obviously it's fantastic. But it started off with him developing a company called the Blue Ribbon Company, and basically they went out. And I remember having a pair of these Onitsuka Tigers that were a Japanese shoe, and they kind of had some interesting stripes on the side. And that's what he and his track coach at Oregon kind of started promoting. And the track coach at Oregon said, "Oh, I'll be your partner, but I want 50%. How much is the buy-in?" And he said, "It's $500. And so they basically presented themselves as the American distributor of these Onitsuka Tigers, and they just couldn't get over the hump where they were actually a profitable company. And then Nike came into being, they had a guy that had developed something, and he developed the bubble, in the shoe, and making it so that it wasn't as, hard on the athletes, because the Onitsuka Tiger was not really the best track shoe, and the track athletes at Oregon were having some problems with it. So anyway, it was an interesting story about Phil Knight and Adidas and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Out of all people, I can't believe Chuck is trying to downplay the hoopla. I thought he was all about the showmanship. Yeah, it's just like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm curious as to how much is it really going to be that much different other than just putting a logo on it?
I can't imagine that it'll be that what we'll see will shock anybody. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen Adidas uniforms across the country, and we've seen what they look like on other schools, including Texas A&M, and I imagine you'll have very similar look.
Yeah.
With our colors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
and it's a good look. So
yeah.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
It's a solid look.
Somebody asked this question off the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Do we have the perfect opportunity to go back to the original Double T? If we don't, Tech Athletics cares nothing about their fan base.
I think the people, I disagree on that, because I think it's pretty split. I don't know exactly what the numbers are. I've not stood out the corner here and asked people. But, I mean, I think the people who want it changed are the loud portion.
It's kind of always the way it is, right?
Yes. I think the other side of it, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we put it on a lot of things and it looks cool. And the current one also looks great. So I don't know why we don't consider what we have right now the best of both worlds when we can use both.
Yeah.
I don't get the people that want it changed so much are the loud people that are angry, and because it's, I guess because what we currently have as the main one is not what they want, so that's why they're loud. The folks that like the current one are just more quiet about it. I don't know.
Do you have a preference?
I like the current one. I love that we use both because I love them both.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you on that.
When we initially changed, I didn't like it, and after a year or 6 months or whatever, I completely changed on that and felt like the old one looked dull to me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I love the current one, but I love the old one too. I love when we have throwback clothes or throwback helmets and all that good stuff. So I like that we use both. So I don't know why we have to act like we should only use one.
Yeah, that's well said. 6:39 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Your thoughts, your opinions.
Plus, Chris Beard liked the old one, so that's not reason enough to
like the new one.
Yeah.
Which is, the new one is like 30 plus years old because it came out in like 92, 93. So
I would have guessed late 90s. It was past my time, I thought.
It was past your time?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was thinking, but I could be completely wrong on that. 6:39 this morning here on the Morning Drive.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Good morning. With Clint Scott is in for Jeff McGuire and Jamie Lynn. I'm Chuck Hines. Great to have you with us today on the Morning Drive. In addition to Adidas coming on board today and it being the first day of the month of July, start of a new quarter, all those kinds of things, it's also welcome to 4 new teams in the Big 12 with Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado.
Oh, that's official today?
That's official today. And official today is Texas and Oklahoma going to the SEC. Okay. So this is the...
Well, I wish them the worst.
Start of a new generation, right? Start of history. How do you feel that the conference is now Longhorn less and Sooner less? Well, good riddance. If you don't want to be here, then don't let it hit you on the backside on your way out. Okay?
Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Good. Now, I don't, for the long-term life of the Big 12 conference, you'd be silly not to admit that those big names and big schools were important to the conference.
Sure.
And so, each and every one of the 16 teams in this conference knows that.
Yeah.
And I think each and every one of these 16 teams in this conference knows that, or assumes that over the next 10 to 20 years or whatever, they'll still continue to be big change. Mm-hmm. And that they'll be trying to get to bigger and better things where the finances involved in television money and all that comes with it is more equal to what you're getting in the Big Ten and the SEC. So as much as I like it as a fan, because I look at this conference, I look just specifically at football and think, man, it feels like it's anybody's ball game here. I get that there are probably 4, 5, 6 teams that you feel like are the ones that are favored, but it just feels like a conference that's, pretty equal. And as we go year to year, every year there'll be 5 or 6 or 8 teams that feel like they have a chance to win it. Where it didn't always feel that way when Oklahoma was in the conference.
I think you've got some parity.
Yeah. So that makes it fun.
It does.
Basketball is going to be a blast, whether we had the Longhorns or or didn't have them, or the Sooners. Mm-hmm. It's going to be brutal. Just brutal. So, I think it's a lot of fun, but I don't think it's still around 20 years from now.
The Big 12?
Yeah.
Okay. You think it's two conferences?
We're in some sort of super conference.
Yeah. This is. I wanted to get to this. The Sporting News had made a prognostication with regard to Texas Tech and the bowl game for this coming year, and it's not a good one. They see Texas Tech, this guy named Bill Bender, never heard of him, but Sporting News, heard of that. He sees Texas Tech ending up in the First Responder Bowl on January the 3rd against Navy. That's not a very prestigious bowl. It's played at Gerald J. Ford Stadium there in Dallas at SMU. It's been around since 2011. Basically, only...
What record does it give? Or does
it doesn't give a record, but last year the First Responder Bowl featured a matchup of 7-5 Texas State and 6-6 Rice. The year previous was 2 6-6 teams, Memphis and Utah State. Other major programs that have played in this game: Oklahoma State, Penn State, Washington, West Virginia, and Purdue. But only one of those schools, Penn State, in 2012 had more than 7 wins. So that would put you in a 7 or 6 win season, which if you're at 6 wins, right, if you finish with just 6 wins, you're going to label that season a disaster. Right?
It's pretty close to that. I mean, maybe if you really struggle with the health of your quarterback situation,
depending on what
there's an understanding or a bit of an acceptance, but at the same time, disaster is a good way to put it, I guess. Yeah.
Now, there's another one that's out. It's a little more favorable. This is from 24/7, and they predict all 68. Is it 68? They predict all the bowl games. It's not 68. It's
not 68.
No, it's like
40 or something.
40 or something like that. Yeah. But
would it be 68 bowl teams?
68 bowl teams. There you go. So that would be
34.
34 bowl games. 34 bowl games. So they have made all their predictions as well. Let me scroll down to where they have Texas Tech. And I'll tell you what they say about the Red Raiders and how Tech is, predicted in terms of this. They have Tech in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl against Rutgers. 2 teams with in-house expectations higher than the offseason love they're receiving nationally. The Scarlet Knights and Red Raiders feel good about their dark horse chances as upper-tier finishers in their respective conferences this fall. Hovering around 8 wins has been the norm for Joey McGuire at Texas Tech, while Greg Schiano is coming off his first winning season at Rutgers since returning to the program in 2020. Well, I mean, you had 8 wins 2 years ago with Coach McGuire because they went 7-5 and won their bowl game. Last year they won 7 because they finished at 6-6.
That would be hovering around.
Yeah. That's fair. But I think that would be that would be disappointing to be in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl against Rutgers.
You had to tell me what the record is.
They don't have a record here.
Yeah.
They don't have a record
because
here.
It just feels like as tight as we feel like it could be at the top of this conference. I mean, you could have the number 1 team in the conference with 10 regular season wins, the number 2 team maybe with a 9-3 mark, and then you could have 4 or 5 teams that are just a game or 2 back. That still turn into be pretty good records. It's just that they're all bunched up there at the top, and so you get pushed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Depending on who you beat and how you came across your 7 or 8 wins. So, I'm not going to disagree with what you're saying that would be disappointing. I mean, just from the onset, we're looking at it going, I hope we play in a good bowl, and that doesn't seem like a very prestigious one. But I don't know that I just need more context to decide whether that's things have fallen apart here or we were really close to being really good.
And that bowl is scheduled for downtown Phoenix on December the 26th at 3:30 Phoenix time. Okay.
Okay, well, put that on my schedule.
Okay.
3:30 is that? You said Phoenix time?
Phoenix time.
Yeah. They're just 1 hour behind us or 2?
That's correct. 1 hour Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, 1 hour behind us. Okay, so I'm going to put that down.
For 2:30.
Should be able to get my tennis in. I
Boxing
play
Day.
12:30 on Saturday.
Boxing Day. Maybe you do it there. Maybe you'd have an outdoor tennis court there.
Yeah, maybe
Saturday. That morning. That morning of. After that, you have Oklahoma State against USC in the Alamo Bowl. Man, that's an attractive matchup. The Texas Bowl features Kansas and Auburn, and then it scrolls on down from there. They have one team from the Big 12 in the college football playoff, and that is Kansas State. They have K-State playing Oregon in the Fiesta Bowl for the right to move on. They have K-State seated as high as number 4.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen. Just going off of what we talked about in the last segment, I'm going to ask you today to tell me the range. You get 2 spots that you predict Texas Tech will finish in football-wise. You get 2 spots. You can say, I think they're going to finish somewhere 4th or 5th, 12th or 13th, 7th or 8th, whatever.
In the conference.
And overall in the season. Yeah, in the conference.
Okay.
Where are you going to finish?
Okay.
Where do you think they'll finish?
Okay. I'll tell you exactly where I have them finishing. This will be my official preseason poll. Is I had Tech finishing 5th. But I would say, if you're going to give me 2 spots, I'd say 5th, 6th.
Okay. Good spot. I'd be happy with that.
I also have them at 5th. So I'll go on the silver lining side, and I'll say your first option, actually. You said I could say 4th and 5th, so I'll say 4th or 5th.
Okay. And I'll go one step back. I'm going to go 6th or 7th. So when I go through the games, I don't have you finishing there. I have you finishing higher with your record. I feel like the schedule definitely plays out right for you. At the same time, I am just expecting a hiccup somewhere along the way that's going to knock you down. Some game that you lose that's going to knock you from like 5th, 6th, or 7th. So
is this kind of the back to the hope for the best, expect the worst kind of deal?
No, that's just a Buffalo Bills thing.
Okay, I didn't know if it had trickled over to your collegiate alliance.
That's just a Buffalo Bills thing.
Okay. Give me credit for getting it right. I mean, usually I get that wrong.
You know what? I kind of didn't even notice because I just assumed it was wrong. I knew what you were talking about. You started saying it, and I was already in my mind going, okay, I'm just going to ignore him saying it wrong, and I'm going to answer the question that you asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who do you have finishing first, Clint?
I do have Utah coming in and winning the conference, but it was unfair to just have 2 spots because I think the fun thing about the conference is like 1 through 10, everybody has a question mark and could be, floor to ceiling is massive. Like Arizona coming in probably has the best receiver on their team, has a guy who could be an all Big 12 quarterback, but new coach. Some people left that talented Arizona team. They could be really good. They could finish 8th, 9th, 10th. Utah, Cameron Rising, back-to-back Pac-12 champ. Whittingham's been there forever, but Rising's coming off a knee injury. They were 8-4 last year and battled through some of their quarterback stuff. What are they going to look like? West Virginia, after having a bounce back year, are they back to a 6-6 team? Like, you just go down the list of all of these teams, new faces, and some of the ones who've been here for a while, and the floor to ceiling just feels so massive, and Texas Tech is looped into that.
Sure. So if let's say we're going with, you said 4 to 5, Chuck said 5 to 6. Let's just land right there in the middle at 5. Who are the 4 that you have finishing in front of the Red Raiders?
Utah, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, Kansas.
I have Oklahoma State, Utah, Kansas State, and Arizona. I have the Jayhawks at 7th. I think this is a overrated, overinflated team that is highly reliant on its quarterback who couldn't stay healthy last year, and the defense is leaky, and they're not playing on campus.
My 4 is the same as Chuck's.
Same order?
Utah. No. I have Kansas State winning it. Utah second. Oklahoma State and Arizona.
I refuse to doubt Oklahoma State ever again.
Mm-hmm.
I have them winning it. I mean, but it wouldn't surprise me if K-State did. I think I would be surprised if Arizona won the Big 12 Conference in year one, based on what you just said, the new coach aspect, and then some of their folks leaving as a result of that.
That's what was enough to scare me away from putting them in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Is just because that's going to be so tough to transition, and I do think that there's some holes that they didn't replenish whenever they saw their coach go to Washington, but they kept the most important pieces, so that's where you're getting some of the hype, but it's just the new coach aspect seems really difficult, and them transitioning to a new league, even though they played in a good league in the Pac-12, I have too many concerns to pin them down. But I'm not going to be surprised if they do well in the Big 12 year one either.
Where do you have UCF?
I have them, man, just right where the Red Raiders are. Yeah, it's just somewhere in that area, hopefully a notch back.
That's where I have them. I have them 6th.
Yeah, right around the same spot.
Yeah, I did the opposite with them where I didn't trust Oklahoma State last year, and I am this year. Last year I was way too high on UCF, and they were fine. Found ways to lose games in their season, including here, and then that horrific game in Waco where they're up by like 3 touchdowns going in the fourth quarter and just piddled away a win to a loss. I think that they have got a lot of really good players and a really good offense, but I see them more like in the 8th to 9th range.
Wow. Where do you have Colorado?
Bottom 5.
Yeah, double digits, definitely.
I have them at 8th. Put West Virginia at 10. So, all right, what do you think?
West Virginia's schedule is really tough.
Mm-hmm.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet973.com.